Just as you're learning to embrace your full power and stop dimming your light, another silent killer lurks in the shadows of your mind, overthinking. This mental prison keeps brilliant women trapped in analysis paralysis, cycling through endless what-if scenarios while life passes them by. Your mind, which should be your greatest asset, becomes your greatest obstacle when it transforms from a tool for creation into a machine for worry. Women's minds are incredible, capable of solving complex problems, creating beautiful art, building successful businesses, and nurturing deep relationships. But when overthinking takes control, that same brilliant mind becomes a weapon against your own success. It questions every decision, analyzes every outcome, and worries about every possible scenario until action becomes impossible and dreams become distant memories. Overthinking isn't thinking, it's suffering. It's not planning, it's paralysis. It's not being thorough, it's being trapped. The overthinking mind doesn't prepare you for success, it prepares excuses for inaction. It doesn't protect you from failure, it guarantees it by keeping you stuck in the safety of endless analysis. Every woman who has transformed her life has had to wage war against her own overthinking mind. She's had to learn that the best decisions are made with 70% of the information, not 100%. She's had to understand that waiting for complete certainty means waiting forever, because certainty is an illusion. She's had to accept that movement creates clarity, not the other way around. The overthinking trap is seductive because it feels productive. Researching, planning, analyzing, and preparing seem like responsible behaviors. But there's a crucial difference between preparation and procrastination, between caution and captivity, between wisdom and worry. When does careful consideration become crippling analysis? When does thorough planning become endless delay? When does smart thinking become self-sabotage? Your overthinking mind will always find reasons to wait, excuses to delay, and fears to validate. It will convince you that you're not ready, not prepared, not qualified, not worthy. It will highlight every potential obstacle, magnify every possible failure, and minimize every opportunity for success. But here's what your overthinking mind won't tell you. Action is the antidote to anxiety, movement is the cure for confusion, and doing is the solution to overthinking. The most successful women in the world aren't those who think the most. They're those who act despite their thoughts. They feel the fear and do it anyway. They experience the doubt and move forward anyway. They acknowledge the uncertainty and take the leap anyway. Their minds might scream warnings, but their hearts guide their actions. Consider every opportunity you've missed because your mind convinced you to wait. Every relationship that faded because you overanalyzed instead of connecting. Every career move you avoided because you thought too much about what could go wrong. Every dream that died because you loved planning it more than living it. Overthinking creates a false sense of control. You believe that if you think about something enough, you can control the outcome. But life doesn't work that way. The only thing you can truly control is your response to what happens, not what happens itself. The only thing thinking can prepare you for is more thinking, not living, not succeeding, not growing. The moment you recognize that you're trapped in overthinking is the moment you can choose differently. You can choose action over analysis. Or you can choose progress over perfection. You can choose courage over comfort. You can choose to trust yourself enough to figure it out as you go instead of waiting to have it all figured out before you start. Movement creates momentum, and momentum creates magic. Every step you take, no matter how small, builds confidence for the next step. Every action you take, no matter how imperfect, provides information that thinking alone cannot provide. Every decision you make, no matter how uncertain, moves you closer to clarity. Your brilliant mind is meant to serve you, not imprison you. It's designed to support your dreams, not sabotage them. But it requires discipline, direction, and decisiveness to function properly. Feed it purpose, give it deadlines, and demand action. Don't let it wander endlessly through corridors of worry and fear. The women who break free from overthinking discover something profound. Life begins at the end of your thoughts. When you stop analyzing and start acting. When you stop worrying and start working. When you stop thinking and start doing, that's when transformation happens. Your dreams are calling, and they don't care how much you've thought about them. They just care how much you're willing to do for them. Your success isn't waiting for perfect planning. It's waiting for imperfect action. Your future isn't being created by your thoughts. It's being built by your actions. Stop thinking your way out of taking action. Start acting your way into clarity. Stop analyzing your way to success. Start doing your way to greatness. Your overthinking mind will always be there, but It doesn't have to be in control. You can choose to be the driver of your life, not the passenger in your own thoughts. The world needs what you have to offer, and it can't wait for you to finish thinking about it. It needs you to start, to try, to act, to move, to do. Your moment is now, not when your mind feels ready, but when your heart says go. Trust yourself enough to begin before you're completely ready, because ready is a feeling, not a requirement. As you break free from the prison of overthinking and begin taking bold action, another insidious pattern emerges that quietly undermines your confidence and steals your power: the relentless search for external validation. This addiction to others' approval keeps brilliant women trapped in a cycle of seeking acceptance, praise, and recognition from sources that can never truly fill the void within. You find yourself constantly looking for signs that you're doing enough, being enough, achieving enough. A like on social media becomes a measure of your worth. A compliment from a colleague becomes proof of your value. Silence from others becomes evidence of your failure. But here's the devastating truth. Seeking validation from external sources is like trying to fill a bottomless bucket. It can never be satisfied, and it will never end. The need for external validation stems from a fundamental misunderstanding about where your worth comes from. You've been conditioned to believe that your value is determined by others' opinions, others' reactions, others' approval. But your worth isn't something that needs to be earned, proven, or validated. It's something you already possess simply by existing. Every time you seek approval before making a decision, you're essentially giving away your power to make choices. Every time you wait for praise before celebrating your achievements, you're allowing others to define your success. Every time you crave recognition before acknowledging your efforts, you're making your self-worth dependent on external circumstances. But external validation is fickle and unreliable. The same people who praise you today might criticize you tomorrow. The same metrics that measure your success today might change tomorrow. The same standards that define your worth today might evolve tomorrow. Building your confidence on shifting sands is a recipe for constant insecurity. Women who have broken free from the validation addiction understand something profound. Internal validation is the only sustainable kind. When you learn to celebrate your own wins, acknowledge your own efforts, and appreciate your own growth, you become unshakable. No external circumstance can diminish your sense of self-worth because your worth comes from within. The irony is cruel but real. The more you seek external validation, the less you receive it. People are naturally drawn to those who are confident in themselves, not those who are desperate for approval. The more you need others to tell you that you're worthy, the less worthy you appear.
The more you chase recognition, the more elusive it becomes.
Consider the energy you've wasted seeking approval for choices that were perfectly aligned with your values. Think about the time you've spent craving praise for efforts that were already commendable. Reflect on the moments you've doubted your decisions because others didn't immediately understand or support them. Your need for external validation reveals a deeper truth. You already know what's right for you. Deep down, you understand your path, your purpose, and your potential, but you've learned to distrust your own wisdom in favor of others' opinions. It's time to remember that your inner voice is far more reliable than external noise. The most confident women in the world aren't those who receive the most praise. They're those who need it the least. They've learned to trust their own judgment, celebrate their own progress, and validate their own worth. They understand that their value isn't determined by others' opinions, and they don't waste energy trying to convince anyone of their worth because they're already convinced themselves. External validation is a temporary high that creates long-term dependency. Internal validation is a permanent foundation that creates lasting confidence. The choice is yours. Continue chasing something that can never truly satisfy you, or start cultivating something that will always be available, your own unwavering belief in yourself. When you stop looking for permission to be successful, you start giving yourself permission. When you stop waiting for others to celebrate your achievements, you start celebrating them yourself. When you stop seeking approval for your choices, you start trusting your own wisdom. Your achievements don't become more real when others acknowledge them. They were always real. Your efforts don't become more valuable when others recognize them. They were always valuable. Your growth doesn't become more significant when others notice it. They were always significant. The world needs women who are confident in themselves, not desperate for approval. The world needs women who trust their own judgment, not those who constantly seek others' opinions. The world needs women who validate themselves, not those who depend on external circumstances for their sense of worth. Stop asking for permission to be worthy. Stop waiting for others to tell you that you're enough. Stop seeking validation for your inherent value. You are worthy simply because you exist. You are enough exactly as you are. You are valuable not because of what you achieve, but because of who you are. Your worth isn't up for debate, discussion, or determination by others. It's a fact, not a feeling. It's permanent, not conditional. It's internal, not external. And it's been there all along, waiting for you to recognize it, claim it, and live from it. The validation you've been seeking from others has always been available within you. The approval you've been craving from external sources has always existed in your own heart. The worth you've been trying to prove to the world has always been undeniable. You just needed to believe it yourself. Just as you're learning to find validation within yourself and stop seeking others' approval, another paralyzing pattern emerges that keeps capable women stuck in neutral: the disease of indecision. This invisible force masquerades as careful consideration and thorough analysis, but it's actually fear wearing a sophisticated disguise, keeping you trapped in the safety of endless deliberation while life-changing opportunities slip through your fingers. Indecision isn't thoughtful consideration. It's cowardice in disguise. It's not being thorough. It's being trapped. It's not avoiding mistakes. It's guaranteeing missed opportunities. Every woman who has transformed her life has had to wage war against her own indecisive nature, learning that the perfect choice rarely exists and that waiting for it means waiting forever. Your indecisive mind will always find reasons to delay, excuses to postpone, and fears to validate. It will convince you that there's more information to gather, more options to explore, more time to wait. But here's what your indecisive mind won't tell you. Every moment of delay is a moment stolen from your future self. Every postponed decision is a victory given away to fear. Every delayed action is a dream pushed further into the distance. The indecision trap is particularly cruel because it feels responsible. Researching every option, weighing every pro and con, analyzing every possible outcome, these behaviors seem mature and wise. But there's a crucial difference between making informed decisions and becoming imprisoned by endless analysis. When does careful consideration become crippling indecision? When does thorough research become procrastination? When does smart planning become self-sabotage? Women who struggle with indecision often believe they're being responsible, but they're actually being irresponsible to themselves. Every day you delay a decision that matters to your growth. Every week you postpone a choice that aligns with your dreams. Every month you avoid taking a stand on something important to you. You're essentially stealing from your future self. The most successful women in the world aren't those who make perfect decisions. They're those who make decisions and then make them work. They understand that good decisions made quickly are often better than perfect decisions made too late. They know that movement creates clarity, not the other way around. They realize that the best way to learn is through doing, not endless deliberation. Consider every opportunity you've missed because you couldn't decide quickly enough. Every relationship that faded because you couldn't commit. Every career move you avoided because you couldn't choose between options. Every dream that died because you loved analyzing possibilities more than pursuing reality. Indecision creates a false sense of safety. You believe that if you delay long enough, the perfect choice will reveal itself. But life doesn't work that way. Opportunities don't wait for perfect timing. They require bold action and decisive commitment. The only way to guarantee you'll miss what's meant for you is to refuse to choose. The moment you recognize that you're trapped in indecision is the moment you can choose differently. You can choose commitment over contemplation. You can choose action over analysis. You can choose courage over comfort. You can choose to trust yourself enough to make a decision and adjust as you go, instead of waiting to have all the answers before you start. Every decision you make, no matter how uncertain, moves you closer to clarity. Every choice you take, no matter how imperfect, provides information that endless deliberation cannot provide. Every commitment you make, no matter how scary, builds the confidence needed for bigger decisions. Women who have broken free from indecision understand something crucial. There is no perfect choice, only chosen ones. The magic isn't in finding the perfect option. It's in making an option perfect through your commitment, effort, and determination. The power isn't in having all the information. It's in taking action with the information you have. Your dreams are calling, and they don't care how long you've spent deciding whether to pursue them. They just care whether you're willing to choose them. Your success isn't waiting for perfect clarity. It's waiting for decisive action. Your future isn't being created by your deliberations. It's being built by your decisions. Stop analyzing your way out of taking action. Start deciding your way into momentum. Stop weighing your way to success. Start choosing your way to greatness. Stop deliberating your way through life. Start deciding your way to transformation. The world needs what you have to offer. and it can't wait for you to finish deciding whether to share it. It needs you to choose, to commit, to act, to move, to do. Your moment is now, not when your mind feels certain, but when your heart says choose. Trust yourself enough to decide before you're completely ready, because ready is a feeling, not a requirement. Every decision you avoid is a victory you give away to fear. Every choice you delay is an opportunity you steal from your future self. Every commitment you postpone is a dream you push further into the distance. The time for indecision is over. The time for decisive action is now. Your power awakens the moment you decide that being decisive matters more than being perfect. Your confidence grows the moment you choose action over analysis. Your success accelerates the moment you commit to moving forward regardless of uncertainty. Your life transforms the moment you stop asking what if and start asking why not. The indecisive woman you've been is not the woman you have to remain. The decisive woman you're meant to become is waiting for you to make one crucial decision, to decide once and for all that your dreams are worth the risk of choosing imperfectly, but courageously. Even as you're learning to make decisive choices and take bold action, another treacherous pattern lurks beneath the surface, quietly sabotaging your success when you're closest to achieving it. Self-sabotage. This internal enemy is perhaps the most devastating because it comes from within, disguised as protection or humility, but actually working against everything you claim to want for your life. Self-sabotage is the unconscious act of undermining your own success, happiness, and fulfillment. It's creating obstacles where there were none, making excuses when opportunities arise, and self-destructing precisely when things start going well. You might find yourself procrastinating on important projects, avoiding conversations that could advance your career, or questioning your worthiness right before breakthrough moments. The cruel irony of self-sabotage is that it often feels like self-protection. You convince yourself that staying small keeps you safe, that not trying means you can't fail, that keeping your dreams secret means you can't be disappointed. But what you don't realize is that by protecting yourself from failure, you're also protecting yourself from success, and that's a far greater tragedy. Self-sabotage stems from deep-seated fears that most women aren't even aware they carry. Fear of success, fear of judgment, fear of not being worthy of good things, fear of standing out, fear of being truly seen. These fears are so powerful that your subconscious mind would rather keep you in familiar misery than risk the unknown territory of success and fulfillment. Women who struggle with self-sabotage often wonder why they can't seem to get out of their own way. They have talent, they have opportunities, they have support, yet something always seems to interfere. They make progress, then mysteriously find themselves back at square one. They achieve success, then unconsciously create circumstances that bring them back down. But here's what self-sabotage doesn't want you to know. You're not broken, you're not cursed, and you're not destined to repeat these patterns forever. Self-sabotage is simply a learned behavior, and like all learned behaviors, it can be unlearned. The first step is recognizing when it's happening and understanding why. The most common forms of self-sabotage are subtle and sophisticated. Waiting until the last minute to start important projects so you have an excuse if they don't turn out well. Setting unrealistic expectations so you can say, "I knew it was impossible," when you don't achieve them. Avoiding opportunities that feel too good to be true because you don't believe you deserve them. Creating drama or chaos when life gets too peaceful because chaos feels more familiar. Self-sabotage often intensifies when you're on the verge of breakthrough because success requires you to step into a bigger version of yourself. Your subconscious mind, trying to keep you safe, will do everything it can to keep you in the familiar territory of your current identity, even if that identity is limiting and unfulfilling. The key to overcoming self-sabotage isn't fighting against it, it's understanding it. Your subconscious mind is trying to protect you from perceived threats, even when those threats are actually opportunities. Once you recognize that self-sabotage is a misguided attempt at self-protection, you can begin to address the underlying fears instead of just the surface behaviors. Women who have broken free from self-sabotage understand something crucial. They are not their saboteur. They are not their fears, their doubts, or their limiting beliefs. They are the observer of these patterns, and as the observer, they have the power to choose differently. They learn to catch themselves in the act of self-sabotage and redirect their energy towards self-support. Consider the ways you might be unconsciously working against your own success. Do you find yourself creating unnecessary obstacles? Do you make excuses when opportunities arise? Do you downplay your achievements or question your worthiness when good things happen? Do you procrastinate on important goals or avoid taking the next step when you're close to breakthrough? Recognition is powerful because it creates choice. Once you can see your self-sabotage patterns clearly, you can interrupt them. You can choose support over sabotage, courage over comfort, growth over familiarity. You can decide that your dreams are worth the discomfort of stepping into a bigger version of yourself. The moment you stop being your own worst enemy is the moment you become your own best ally. The moment you stop sabotaging your success is the moment you start creating it deliberately. The moment you stop working against yourself is the moment you start working for yourself. Self-sabotage thrives in the shadows of your unconscious mind, but it dies in the light of your awareness. Every time you catch yourself creating obstacles, you're strengthening your ability to create opportunities. Every time you choose support over sabotage, you're building new neural pathways that make success feel more natural and familiar. Your subconscious mind wants to keep you safe, but it's been defining safety incorrectly. True safety isn't in staying small, it's in growing into who you're meant to be. True protection isn't in avoiding risks. It's in taking calculated risks that lead to fulfillment. True security isn't in maintaining the status quo. It's in becoming the kind of woman who can handle whatever life brings. The woman you're meant to become is waiting for you to stop sabotaging yourself and start supporting yourself. She's waiting for you to understand that you are worthy of success, deserving of happiness, and capable of handling whatever comes with stepping into your power. Your time for self-sabotage is over. Your moment for self-support is now. Your season of working against yourself is finished. The world needs what you have to offer, and it can't receive that gift if you're too busy sabotaging your own success to actually achieve it. As you recognize and overcome the patterns of self-sabotage that have been holding you back, another transformative realization emerges that will fundamentally shift your relationship with your life. The power of taking complete responsibility for everything that happens to you and everything you create. This isn't about blame or shame. It's about empowerment, ownership, and the incredible freedom that comes from understanding that you are the author of your story. For too long, you've been living as a victim of circumstances, a prisoner of other people's choices, a bystander in your own life. You've blamed your past for your present, blamed others for your problems, blamed timing for your delays. But here's the liberating truth that changes everything. Every victim was once a creator of their circumstances, whether consciously or unconsciously. Taking responsibility doesn't mean beating yourself up for past mistakes or carrying the weight of everything that's ever gone wrong. It means recognizing that you have the power to change anything, right here, right now, starting with your response to whatever life presents you. It means understanding that while you can't control what happens to you, you can always control what happens within you and because of you. The moment you take complete responsibility for your life is the moment you stop being a victim and start being a creator. You stop waiting for others to change and start changing yourself. You stop hoping for better circumstances and start creating them. You stop complaining about your situation and start taking action to transform it. Women who take responsibility understand something profound. They are not at the effect of their lives. They are at the cause of them. They don't just react to circumstances. They respond with intention and purpose. They don't just hope for better outcomes. They create them through their choices, actions, and commitments. Responsibility means acknowledging that every result in your life, whether positive or negative, is the product of choices you've made, actions you've taken, or decisions you've avoided. It means recognizing that your current situation isn't permanent unless you choose to keep creating it. It means understanding that your future isn't predetermined by your past. It's determined by your present choices. The victim mindset keeps you powerless, stuck, and frustrated. It tells you that you're not good enough, not worthy enough, not capable enough to create the life you want. It convinces you that others have more advantages, more opportunities, more luck. But the creator mindset liberates you. It reminds you that you have everything you need right now to begin transforming your life. Consider the energy you've wasted blaming others for your circumstances, complaining about your situation, or making excuses for your lack of progress. Think about how much more powerful you would be if you redirected that energy toward creating the life you actually want. Imagine how much further you could go if you stopped waiting for permission to take control and started giving yourself that permission right now. Taking responsibility means owning your power to choose. You can choose your response to any situation. You can choose your attitude toward any challenge. You can choose your commitment to your dreams regardless of external circumstances. You can choose to see obstacles as opportunities and setbacks as setups for comebacks. The most empowered women in the world aren't those who've had the easiest lives. They're those who've taken complete responsibility for creating the lives they have. They understand that their circumstances don't define their potential, their past doesn't determine their future, and their challenges don't limit their possibilities. Responsibility creates freedom because it puts you back in the driver's seat of your life. When you stop being a victim of circumstances and start being a creator of outcomes, you become unstoppable. No external situation can keep you down when you understand that your power comes from within, not from your environment. Every time you blame someone else, you give away your power to change. Every time you complain about your circumstances, you reinforce your attachment to them. Every time you make excuses for your lack of progress, you limit your potential for growth. But every time you take responsibility, you reclaim your power, restore your agency, and renew your ability to create change. The moment you decide that you are responsible for your happiness, your success, and your fulfillment is the moment you become unstoppable. Not because life will suddenly become easy, but because you'll suddenly become powerful enough to handle whatever it brings. Not because circumstances will change, but because you'll change your relationship with them. Your past doesn't have to be your future. Your circumstances don't have to be your destiny. Your challenges don't have to be your limitations. When you take complete responsibility for your life, you become the hero of your own story instead of the victim of someone else's plot. The woman you're meant to become takes responsibility for her thoughts, her choices, her actions, and her results. She doesn't waste energy blaming others or making excuses. She invests that energy in creating the life she desires. She understands that responsibility isn't a burden, it's a superpower. Stop waiting for others to take responsibility for your happiness. Stop hoping that circumstances will change to match your desires. Stop making excuses for your lack of progress. Start taking complete responsibility for creating the life you actually want. Your power has been waiting for you to claim it through responsibility. Your freedom has been waiting for you to own it through accountability. Your success has been waiting for you to create it through intentional action. The time for victimhood is over. The time for creation is now. You are not the result of your circumstances. You are the creator of them. You are not the victim of your past. You are the architect of your future. You are not powerless against life. You are powerful within it. Take responsibility for this truth and watch as everything in your life begins to transform. As you embrace the incredible power that comes with taking complete responsibility for your life, another barrier dissolves, the limiting beliefs that have been quietly dictating your potential and constraining your possibilities. These invisible chains have been forged in the fires of past experiences, reinforced by well-meaning but misguided advice, and strengthened by society's narrow definitions of what women can achieve. Limiting beliefs are the stories you tell yourself about what's possible and what's not. I'm not smart enough. I don't deserve success. It's too late for me. I'm not qualified. I don't have what it takes. These seemingly innocent thoughts have been running your life from behind the scenes, creating invisible ceilings that keep you from reaching your true potential. But here's what makes this moment so powerful. Beliefs aren't facts, they're choices. Every limiting belief you've adopted was learned, which means it can be unlearned. Every ceiling you've accepted was created, which means it can be demolished. Every boundary you've respected was imagined, which means it can be expanded beyond what you currently believe is possible. Your thoughts create your reality more powerfully than you realize. The stories you tell yourself about your capabilities, your worthiness, and your potential become the lens through which you see the world, and the world responds to that lens. When you believe you're capable, opportunities appear. When you believe you're worthy, doors open. When you believe you can succeed, you do. Women who have broken through to extraordinary levels of success and fulfillment have done something crucial. They've questioned the stories they were told about what's possible for women like them. They've challenged the beliefs that said they couldn't, shouldn't, or didn't deserve to achieve their dreams. They've rewritten their own narratives with bold, empowering truths. Consider every dream you've abandoned because you didn't believe you could achieve it. Think about every opportunity you've avoided because you didn't think you were qualified. Reflect on every risk you've refused to take because you didn't believe you were worthy of success. How many possibilities have slipped through your fingers because of beliefs that were never truly yours? Limiting beliefs often sound like protection, but they're actually prisons. They keep you safe in the familiar territory of mediocrity instead of launching you into the unknown territory of greatness. They prevent you from failing, yes, but they also prevent you from succeeding, growing, and becoming who you're truly meant to be. The most liberating realization comes when you understand this truth. Your current beliefs about what's possible aren't based on your actual potential. They're based on your past experiences and the limitations of those who influenced you. But your potential has never been limited by anyone else's imagination or constrained by anyone else's beliefs about what women can achieve. Every woman who has broken through her own limiting beliefs has done something radical. She's decided that her dreams matter more than her fears, that her potential is greater than her past, and that her future is not determined by other people's limited vision of what's possible. Your mind is incredibly powerful. It believes what you tell it to believe. Feed it empowering thoughts, and it will generate empowering results. Feed it limiting beliefs, and it will create limiting outcomes. The choice is yours, and the choice creates your reality. Women who consistently achieve extraordinary results have learned to become ruthless about their thoughts. They don't allow limiting beliefs to take root and grow. They catch themselves when they start thinking, "I can't," and immediately replace it with, "I can figure it out." They don't let "I'm not qualified" take hold. They remind themselves that qualifications are earned through action, not bestowed by permission. The moment you decide to question every limiting belief you've ever accepted is the moment you begin to expand beyond your current boundaries. The moment you choose to believe in your potential instead of your limitations is the moment you start creating possibilities that seemed impossible before. Your dreams aren't too big. They're exactly the right size to stretch you beyond who you currently are. Your ambitions aren't too fierce. They're exactly what's needed to break through to the next level of your life. Your potential isn't limited by your past. It's limitless in its capacity to surprise and amaze you. Stop allowing yesterday's beliefs to limit today's possibilities. Stop letting other people's limited vision define your unlimited potential. Stop accepting stories about what women can't do as if they're gospel truth. You have the power to rewrite your own narrative with bold, empowering beliefs that support your dreams and fuel your success. The woman you're meant to become has already shattered every limiting belief that's been holding you back. She believes in her capabilities without question, trusts in her worthiness without hesitation, and pursues her dreams without apology. She understands that her thoughts create her reality, so she chooses them carefully and deliberately. Your beliefs have been creating your reality whether you've been aware of it or not. The question isn't whether you can change your circumstances. The question is whether you're willing to change your beliefs about what's possible. The moment you decide that you're capable of more than you've ever imagined is the moment your life begins to transform. The universe responds to conviction, not doubt. It opens doors for belief, not disbelief. It creates opportunities for those who believe they deserve them and closes them for those who believe they don't. Your beliefs aren't just thoughts, they're creative forces that shape your entire experience of life. Choose to believe in your unlimited potential. Choose to trust in your ability to figure things out as you go. Choose to see challenges as opportunities and setbacks as setups for comebacks. Choose to believe that you are exactly who you need to be, right here, right now, to begin creating the extraordinary life you've been dreaming about. Your time for limitation is over. Your moment for expansion is now. Your season of doubting your potential is finished. The world needs what you have to offer, and it can't receive that gift if you're too busy believing you're not qualified to give it. As you're learning to shatter limiting beliefs and expand your vision of what's possible, another crucial element emerges that separates extraordinary women from those who remain stuck in mediocrity: the courage to set and enforce healthy boundaries. This isn't about becoming cold or uncaring. It's about becoming authentic, respected, and powerful in every area of your life. Boundaries aren't walls that separate you from others. They're bridges that lead to healthier, more respectful relationships. They're not barriers that make you difficult. They're guidelines that make you valuable. They're not signs of weakness. They're declarations of self-respect that command the respect of others. Women often struggle with boundaries because they've been conditioned to believe that being accommodating, flexible, and agreeable makes them more likable and acceptable. But here's what no one tells you. People don't respect you for how much you sacrifice for them. They respect you for how much you respect yourself. Healthy boundaries create space for you to honor your values, protect your energy, and preserve your peace. They allow you to say yes to what matters and no to what doesn't. They enable you to show up fully in your relationships without losing yourself in the process. They give you the freedom to be authentic instead of constantly adapting to please others. The fear underneath poor boundary setting is intense. Fear of rejection, fear of abandonment, fear of conflict, fear of not being liked or accepted. But what if you discovered that the people who truly matter will respect your boundaries, and those who don't respect your boundaries don't truly matter? Every time you say yes to something you don't want, you're saying no to something you do. Every time you avoid conflict to keep the peace, you're creating internal conflict that eats away at your soul. Every time you make yourself smaller to make others comfortable, you're making your own life smaller too. Women who have mastered boundaries understand something crucial. Setting limits isn't about controlling others. It's about controlling yourself. It's about deciding what you will and won't accept, what you will and won't tolerate, what you will and won't compromise. It's about becoming the author of your own experience, instead of allowing others to write your story. Consider the energy you've wasted people-pleasing, the time you've spent resenting others for taking advantage of your generosity, the peace you've sacrificed to avoid uncomfortable conversations. Think about how much more powerful you would be if you redirected that energy toward creating relationships based on mutual respect and genuine care. Healthy boundaries aren't selfish. They're sacred. They're not mean. They're mature. They're not harsh. They're honest. When you set clear boundaries, you're actually giving others the gift of knowing exactly how to treat you, what to expect from you, and what you expect from them. The most respected women in the world aren't those who say yes to everything. They're those who say yes thoughtfully and no courageously. They understand that every time they compromise their boundaries, they diminish their own value and teach others that their limits aren't real. Boundaries require courage because they often involve uncomfortable conversations, difficult decisions, and the willingness to disappoint some people. But here's what boundary-setting women know that others don't. Disappointing people is temporary, but disappointing yourself is permanent. Women who enforce healthy boundaries discover something profound. Their relationships improve, their stress decreases, their confidence increases, and their respect from others skyrockets. People who truly value you will appreciate your honesty and respect your limits. People who don't value you will reveal themselves, saving you from investing further in relationships that don't serve you. The moment you decide that your peace matters more than others' temporary discomfort is the moment you begin to reclaim your power. The moment you choose self-respect over people-pleasing is the moment you start attracting people who treat you the way you deserve to be treated. Your boundaries aren't suggestions. They're requirements for healthy relationships. They're not negotiable. They're necessary for your well-being. They're not harsh. They're healing for both you and those around you. Every time you allow someone to cross a boundary you've set, you're essentially telling them that your limits aren't real and that you're not serious about self-respect. But every time you enforce your boundaries consistently, you're teaching others how to treat you and demonstrating to yourself that you value your own well-being. The woman you're meant to become doesn't apologize for her boundaries. She celebrates them. She doesn't compromise her values for others' comfort. She stands firm in her truth. She doesn't fear conflict. She faces it with grace and determination. Stop asking for permission to protect your peace. Stop waiting for others to respect boundaries you're afraid to enforce. Stop sacrificing your well-being to avoid temporary discomfort. Start setting clear limits, communicating them directly, and enforcing them consistently. Your time for boundaryless living is over. Your moment for boundary-full living is now. Your season of people-pleasing is finished. The world needs women who are willing to be respected, not just tolerated. The world needs women who are willing to be authentic, not just agreeable. The world needs women who are willing to be valued, not just available. The courage to set boundaries is the courage to be truly seen, truly valued, and truly respected. It's the courage to create relationships based on mutual care instead of one-sided sacrifice. It's the courage to become the woman you were always meant to be. Powerful, authentic, and unapologetically yourself. Your boundaries are not obstacles to your relationships. They are the foundation upon which healthy, respectful, and fulfilling relationships are built. Set them boldly, communicate them clearly, and enforce them consistently. Your future self is counting on the courage you show today. As you master the art of setting and enforcing healthy boundaries, you're stepping into the final threshold of true feminine power, the unapologetic ownership of your authentic strength. This isn't about becoming aggressive or dominating. It's about becoming unshakable in your truth, unwavering in your confidence, and unstoppable in your pursuit of the life you're meant to live. True power comes from within, not from controlling others or seeking external validation. It's the quiet confidence that knows your worth without needing to prove it. It's the bold courage that pursues your dreams without apology. It's the fierce determination that refuses to let anyone dim the light that burns within you. Women who own their power understand something that transforms everything. They don't need permission to be great. They don't need approval to be ambitious. They don't need validation to be worthy. They've learned that their value isn't determined by others' opinions, their success isn't measured by others' standards, and their worth isn't defined by others' expectations. Owning your power means stepping into your authentic authority, the natural leadership that emerges when you're fully aligned with your truth. It's not about being louder than others or more aggressive than others. It's about being more authentic than you've ever been, more committed than you've ever been, and more willing to be seen than you've ever been. The world has spent generations teaching women to make themselves smaller, quieter, and less visible. But here's what the world needs to understand. When women step into their power, when they claim their authority, when they own their strength unapologetically, everything changes. Not just for them, but for every woman who witnesses their courage. Your power isn't intimidating, it's inspiring. Your ambition isn't threatening, it's necessary. Your success isn't excessive, it's essential. The world doesn't need you to be less of who you are. It needs you to be more of who you're meant to be. Women who own their power have learned to silence the inner critic that whispers you're too much and amplify the inner champion that declares you're exactly enough. They've stopped dimming their light to make others comfortable and started shining so brightly that others can't help but be inspired to find their own light. The moment you decide to own your power unapologetically is the moment you stop being a passenger in your own life and start being the driver of your destiny. You stop waiting for others to recognize your worth and start recognizing it yourself. You stop seeking permission to be great and start giving yourself that permission. True feminine power isn't about competing with others or proving yourself to anyone. It's about becoming so rooted in your own worth that external circumstances can't shake your foundation. It's about becoming so committed to your dreams that temporary setbacks can't derail your journey. It's about becoming so authentic to yourself that others' opinions can't define your reality. Consider the energy you've wasted trying to be acceptable to everyone, the time you've spent making yourself smaller to fit into spaces that were never meant for you, the power you've given away by seeking others' approval instead of trusting your own wisdom. Women who own their power understand that authenticity attracts while pretense repels. They've learned that being real is more powerful than being perfect, that being genuine is more magnetic than being polished, and that being themselves is more compelling than being what others want them to be. Your power has been waiting for you to claim it, not through force or aggression, but through authenticity and courage. It's been waiting for you to stop asking for permission to be great and start giving yourself that permission. It's been waiting for you to stop seeking validation from others and start validating yourself. The woman you're meant to become doesn't apologize for her ambition, doesn't dim her light to make others comfortable, and doesn't shrink her dreams to fit into others' expectations. She stands tall in her truth, speaks boldly in her voice, and moves confidently toward her destiny. Owning your power means becoming the kind of woman who inspires others to do the same. It means modeling what's possible when you stop playing small and start playing big. It means showing other women that they don't have to choose between being powerful and being feminine. They can be both, fully and completely. Your dreams don't look like anyone else's dreams because you're not anyone else. Your success won't mirror anyone else's success because your definition of fulfillment is uniquely yours. Your impact won't replicate anyone else's impact because the world needs exactly what you have to offer in exactly the way that only you can deliver it. Stop waiting for others to give you permission to be powerful. Stop seeking approval to be ambitious. Stop asking for validation to be worthy. You already have everything you need within you to step into your full power right here, right now. Your time for apology is over. Your moment for ownership is now. Your season for seeking permission has passed. The world needs what you have to offer, and it can't receive that gift if you're too busy making yourself smaller to fit into spaces that were never meant to contain your greatness. The woman you're meant to become owns her power so completely, so authentically, so unapologetically that she becomes a beacon of possibility for every other woman who dares to dream. She doesn't just change her own life. She changes the lives of everyone she touches by showing them what's possible when you decide that your dreams are worth the risk of being magnificent. Step into your power, claim your authority, own your strength. Become the woman you were always meant to be, not despite your femininity, but because of it. Not in spite of your power, but through it. Not despite your authenticity, but because of it. Your power is not something you need to earn, prove, or validate. It's something you need to recognize, claim, and wield with grace, courage, and unwavering commitment to your truth. The world has been waiting for you to step into your full power. Don't make it wait any longer. As you step fully into your authentic power and claim the authority that's always been yours, one final truth emerges that will determine whether you transform these insights into lasting change: the absolute necessity of taking action right now. This isn't just another piece of advice to file away for later consideration. This is the moment that separates those who dream from those who become. The woman you're meant to become isn't waiting for the perfect conditions, the ideal timing, or complete certainty. She's not spending her days analyzing, planning, or preparing for a future that never arrives. She's taking imperfect action today, learning as she goes, adjusting as she grows, and moving steadily toward the life she's designed. Every pattern you've discovered throughout this journey: perfectionism, people-pleasing, comparison, fear of being too much, overthinking, seeking validation, indecision, self-sabotage, avoiding responsibility, limiting beliefs, poor boundaries, and hesitation to own your power, has been holding you back not because they're permanent flaws, but because you haven't taken decisive action to change them. Awareness without action is just painful knowledge. You can understand every psychological barrier that's been limiting your potential. You can recognize every pattern that's been sabotaging your success, and you can admire the woman you're meant to become, all while remaining exactly where you are right now. The difference between dreaming and becoming is action. Your future self is not waiting for you to finish analyzing your options. She's not waiting for you to gather more information or achieve greater clarity. She's waiting for you to make one crucial decision: to begin before you're ready, to start before you're certain, and to move before you're completely prepared. The most successful women in the world aren't those who waited for perfect conditions. They're those who created their own conditions through bold, decisive action. They understood that momentum trumps perfection, that progress beats procrastination, and that doing is the antidote to overthinking. Consider every dream you've postponed because you wanted to wait for the right time. Think about every opportunity you've missed because you weren't completely ready. Reflect on every moment you've delayed taking action because you were afraid of making the wrong choice. How many years of your life have been stolen by waiting for the perfect moment that never comes? The moment you decide that being in progress matters more than being perfectly prepared is the moment your transformation begins. The moment you choose action over analysis, courage over comfort, and doing over deliberation is the moment you step out of the realm of possibility and into the territory of reality. Your dreams are calling, and they don't care how much you've thought about them. They just care how much you're willing to do for them. Your success isn't waiting for perfect planning, it's waiting for imperfect action. Your future isn't being created by your thoughts, it's being built by your actions. The woman you're meant to become started exactly where you are right now, with the courage to face the truth and the commitment to transform it. She made a crucial decision. She chose action over perfection, progress over procrastination, and courage over comfort. And that choice transformed everything. Every moment you delay is a moment stolen from your future self. Every day you wait is a day given away to fear. Every week you postpone is a victory surrendered to indecision. The time for waiting is over. The time for action is now. Your power has been inside you all along, but it's only through action that it becomes real. Your potential has always existed, but it's only through doing that it becomes actual. Your dreams have always been possible, but they're only through movement that they become probable. Stop analyzing your way out of taking action. Start acting your way into clarity. Stop thinking your way to success. Start doing your way to greatness. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Start creating it through bold, decisive action. The world needs what you have to offer, and it can't wait for you to finish thinking about it. It needs you to start, to try, to act. to move, to do. Your moment is now, not when your mind feels ready, but when your heart says go. Trust yourself enough to begin before you're completely ready, because ready is a feeling, not a requirement. Every pattern you've identified can be broken through consistent, deliberate action. Every limitation you've recognized can be expanded through persistent effort. Every barrier you've discovered can be demolished through unwavering commitment to change. Your time is now. Your power is ready. Your moment has arrived. Don't let it pass you by while you're busy preparing to be prepared. Don't let it slip away while you're perfecting your exit strategy. Don't let it disappear while you're gathering courage that will only come through taking the first step. The woman you're meant to become is waiting for you to take that first imperfect step, to make that first courageous decision, to take that first bold action. She knows that done is better than perfect, that movement creates momentum, and that action is the bridge between dreams and reality. Your future self is counting on the courage you show right now. The life you've been dreaming about, the confidence you've been craving, the success you've been avoiding because it felt too big or too scary, it's all within reach. But first, you have to be willing to take action despite your fears, to move forward despite your doubts, and to begin before you're completely ready. This is your moment. This is your invitation to finally become the woman you were always meant to be. Don't wait for tomorrow, next week, or next month. Don't wait for more information, better conditions, or complete certainty. Don't wait for permission.